Hello, today I will talk about Kung Fu Panda. The movie is about clumsy panda who has a kung fu dream and dreams of becoming a martial arts hero. By one chance, he was identified as an accidental dragon warrior and began to learn kung fu. But the Sifu and the Forest Five were not optimistic about him and tried their best to make things difficult to him. Everyone felt that he was not suitable for Kung Fu. But one day, when Paul was stealing food, the master discovered his potential and used a new way to teach Paul. Eventually, Paul learned Kung Fu and became a dragon warrior and defeated Tai Long. Tai Long is the big villain in this movie. When I was primary school, I was just watching the drama. Now I find that there are many interesting plots in it, and I want to share it with you. This film contains a lot of Chinese instruments and Chinese music styles, which I would like to introduce to you. The Chinese musical instruments used are bamboo flute, erhu, Chinese theater, pipa, and then.
Hey! Open the door! Let me in!
Okay, this you can see, this part is one I find very interesting. You can hear the rhythm of Paul's knocking on the door, dong 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 dong, and the rhythm of the drums inside in the scene. Just because the rhythm in the scene and the sound is loud, the sound of Paul knock on the door is covered up, so nobody can hear Paul knocking the door.
Legend tells of a legendary warrior whose kung fu skills were the stuff of legend. He traveled the land in search of worthy foes. I see you like to chew. Maybe you should chew on my fist! The warrior said nothing, for his mouth was full. Then he swallowed. And then he spoke. Enough talk. Let's fight. Shakaburi! He was so deadly, in fact, that his enemies would go blind from overexposure to pure awesomeness. He's too awesome!
And attractive.
How can we repay you? There is no charge for awesomeness or attractiveness. It mattered not how many foes he faced. They were no match for his bodacity.
Okay, I think the opening of this movie is the best way to show the combination of Chinese and Western music. It begins with a melodious flute, followed by a piece of erhu and pipa music, and then with the sound of a gong, slowly brought us into ancient China and began a narration. Bamboo flute, Hu and Gong from a typical Chinese opera opening. The composer has a good understanding of Chinese music forms. The fast and change are accompanied by a very passionate piece of typical jazz music, but the most jazz character drums and the sonorous and powerful brass in the crescendo make the piece of music present a novel combination of Chinese and Western music.
Stuck with you. A big, fat panda. Treats it like a joke. Oh, that's it!
This part is so funny, and you can see this sound. When Tiger said that Paul is a very fat panda, Paul immediately made the grimace. The music is a particularly funny sound to match the appearance of grimace. This part is in the end. So at the end of this one, there was another sound of the bamboo flute, which seemed to echo the music of the bamboo flute at the beginning. Yes. Okay, let's talk about the composer. The composer is Hans Zimmer, a German film score composer and music producer. He was one of the heads of DreamWorks, founded a remote control production company, with the company's other soundtrack composers, and then moved to the United States to settle down. Zimmer's work has quite well-known character. He is good at integrating electronic music with traditional grand symphony and orchestra music, and use a variety of rich instrumental music to point out the characteristics of important characters in the film or lead to important plot climax. As a result, he has won many awards, including 4 Grammys, 3 Brit Awards, 2 Golden Globes, and an Oscar. The track begins with mental sums and a series slow to fast drum beats, followed by a symphony synth brass hit and electric disturbing vocals and the cacophony of electronic sound that push the atmosphere into chairs, set the conflicting tone of the opening of Dawn World. Okay, I will show you this music part, but this is too long. It's 7 minutes. Maybe I will show 1 minute, and if you have interesting, you can find that this music. Thank you. Now I will talk about Kung Fu Panda and Dune. It's similar and not similar. The first is Kung Fu Panda and Dune use electronic music. The difference is that there is a lot of Chinese music in Kung Fu Panda. Dune is a sci-fi movie, and a lot of music in it will sound more sci-fi or cyberpunk. About Kung Fu Panda in the film, the protagonist tries hard to obtain the secret, but find that the secret is a scripture without words. This idea was suggested by Li Fengshan, a well-known martial arts and Qigong master in Taiwan. So, in the end, why I choose this movie? I choose this movie not only because the movie has Chinese elements, but also because the composer has the characteristics of understanding Chinese music in order to match the film. Many times, the characteristics of Chinese music are that people are accustomed to it, but do not generalize. Like I made now, but I'm not going to say it particularly academically. But this German composer can understand Chinese music so subtly, which I admire. I choose this movie to let everyone experience Chinese movie in the eyes of foreigners. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye.